Guess who's back? What's up, y'all? Hey, it's Crown Nosa in the building, bro. We getting swole out here, man. We getting vegan swole out in this mug. What's good with y'all, man? Hey, look, I had to show my face again, man. Look, I'm gonna start making these videos again, regardless of, you know what I'm saying, what's going on in my current loop right now, in my current life experience, bro. Look, I've been on semen retention for 2 years, right? I've been retaining my seed for 2 years without releasing, right? But these last 4 months, I have not been edging, man. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, you know. During my 2-year experience of semen retention, bro, I was still looking at the hub. I was still, you know, messing with girls, you know, looking to mess with girls. You know, I had this one girl, you know, shout out to you, babe, if you see this. You know, no disrespect, I'm not saying your name, but you know, I would still mess around and edge, you know, and you know, I wouldn't release. I wouldn't release, so hold on, y'all. I had to make a U-turn. I went the wrong way. I was so excited making this video for y'all. Sorry. But I'm on my way to the gym right now. I'm about to go work out real quick, you know. It's 6 in the morning. You know, I'm on that, you know, I'm on that pure hard mode retention, you know. Shout out to the Shaved Lion King, man. Look, he's right, man. We need more people to make videos, you know, more dudes who are genuinely retaining their seed to, you know, talk about your experiences and live it out and don't relapse. But I've been retaining my seed for 2 years now, yo, and I've been edging though, you know, practicing Careza as they call it. So y'all let me know if that doesn't count. Let me know if that's not really retaining, you know, because technically I haven't released my seed in 2 years, but these last 4 months, no relapses, no edging, you know, no none of that. And I'm not gonna lie, I do see the difference though. I do see the difference, bro. I'm even more jacked, like mentally and physically, low key. Like, you know, I got my shirt on, you know, but for someone who doesn't eat meat, bro, you know, like I've actually been holding my weight, like not relapsing, not edging, like pure hard mode semen retention is causing me to really be, you know, filled up, but also like, I mean, I don't know, I'm so used to all the spiritual attacks now, all the patterns I recognize, you know. It's like people act a certain way and I just accept it now, and it is what it is. It has no effect on me, and I just know how to handle this power, handle all of this energy, you know. I see right through people, you know, and you know, everybody is the same for the most part. The people who do not retain and who eat bad foods, you know, regardless of how they present themselves, they all are the same. They all know how to act. It is what it is, and you know, I don't let it get to me. But yeah, you know, y'all, look, I just been experiencing really, you know, just life, but really amazing things and just like experiences, you know, like good things have been happening to me. And for example, like, you know, my credit, I don't know, I'm so proud of my credit, because at one point it was at a 547 with charge-offs and all kinds of stuff. And you know, while I was retaining my seed, man, during that journey, man, I came across somebody who actually helped me clean my entire credit, man. Like, you know, clean off all my charge-offs, all my lates and all that. And it's actually real, you know, because a lot of people do be scamming out there, because I actually got scammed myself. You know, I paid $6,000 for a mentorship that didn't work out. I didn't get nothing from it but some lessons. So I still feel like the $6K was a bit overboard on what I had to pay, but I did learn some things. I'm not gonna lie. I did learn about different ways to raise my credit, you know, which, you know, I haven't even implemented them yet. But right now, my current score is at a 740, because, you know, in the month of January, bro, this month was really busy for me. You know, I was really investing into like my side business, really just focusing, hardening down on myself. You know, I was retaining just straight up, like just straight, you know, no relapses, no edging. I was just retaining. So, you know, I feel like a complete monster, and just would disregard anything else but just working hard, bro. But I do have enough time in the day to squeeze videos in, and what a better time to make a video than to do it in the morning, you know, in the early morning, when everything is nice and fresh, and and I got some good rest, no smoking, no drinking, none of that stuff. But y'all, this experience is really, it's just all patterns, man. Hey, shout out to all the semen retention content creators out there. I'm not gonna lie, I still watch the videos, bro. I watch who's out there making the content, so I know who y'all are, man. So, it was a content creator out there, man. Shout out to you. His name was Proxy. He mentioned how basically, life is a loop, and people live in loops. They live in patterns, and when he was saying that did make sense. I'm like, yeah, everything is in a pattern. People are stuck in their patterns. People are stuck in their loops, and when you retain your seed, you just get super powerful in your loop. You just get really focused in and dialed in on your loop, but you can still retain and do bad habits, do the wrong things. All you gotta do is change your habits, though. Long story short, just change your habits. And for me, with semen retention, I was able to see other possibilities, other loops, and meet other people and attract them. So it's just interesting hearing other people's thoughts and insights, and it all does make sense at the end of the day. Shout out to the Shaved Lion King, man. He mentioned how he has a clean vegan diet. He retains and takes all the vitamins and minerals and does whatever he does, and still has and still has certain I don't want to say worms, but parasites. Yeah, like he still has parasites showing up, in his system. It's like, and he's a vegan, and I'm quote unquote vegan. I feel like I can eat cleaner, but all I'm trying to say is, bro, people have parasites, and it made me think like, damn, I probably have so many parasites in me right now, and I'm really looking to detox. As soon as I can, I'm looking to detox, bro. And I think we all need to be focusing on that, because that actually matters. Not right now, but if you do plan on living past 40, hey, look, I'm talking to my folks who plan on living past 40, because I'm 29 years old, gonna be 30 this year, by the universe's grace, right? So I think health is extremely important, I think health is extremely important, and most people are not gonna make it. They're not gonna make it to 60 or 70 or 80. It's like, and they could if they decided to care about the health more. So I think it's important to focus on our health. I think it's important to to really understand your surroundings and what's going on, and not be like everybody else and not end up like them. So yeah, man, I'm back though. Look, I'm back. I've been focused, bro. I've been focused on my monies, on real estate, on my music, still planning it out. The image gotta match, man. The image definitely gotta match, and the vibe and the energy. You can't fake it. You gotta just really be it. You gotta be who you see yourself as. Like, literally be it, believe it, and do what they do. Do what the people who you want to be like, or the people who are in your field, the successful ones, do what they do, literally. Read the books they read. Now, you can't literally be someone else, though. Everyone is their own individual, but you can take what someone does and twist it and put it in your own version. You still got to work hard, though. You still got to put in that work, but it's possible. All right, y'all. Look, it's possible, and being on semen retention, bro. Being on hard mode retention, being on semen retention where you don't edge and you don't relapse, bro. There's a major difference, bro. I'm talking about the masculinity is just out of this world, bro. Like I'm just so ready to. I don't know. I'm not violent, but I feel like now I'm just not running from confrontation, and I'm not passive, but at the same time I know how to control it. Like I have total control over it. Like the other day, it was a white gentleman. Shout out to him. He had a Trump hat on, and I ended up getting into an argument with him. Long story short, right? But it wasn't necessarily an argument. It was just a misunderstanding. But he had his point of view, and I had my point of view, and our voices were raising up, and an individual around me was like, "Hey, man, I thought you were gonna, sock him or slap him or something." I'm like, "No. Why would I do that?" Bro, I got total control over myself. Like people are gonna be like so surprised, at you, when you display certain characteristics and then you don't fold. Like, brother, I retain my seed. So it's like I have control over myself. I have the ability to raise my voice and not do anything after that. You know how to think when you're on semen retention. You know how to think. You know how to control yourself. Especially when you put the actual practice in of controlling yourself, which is by taking an actual martial art. This is why I really promote not just doing semen retention, right? But also, doing martial arts, doing an actual practice, like doing something that your semen retention will really appreciate and love, and your masculinity will appreciate and love. Hey, look, because guys out here cannot fight to save their lives. Like, you dudes cannot fight, and I can tell, when I walk past you and I hear your breathing patterns, and I see, dudes shaking, and it's like, bro, it's really real, bro. I notice a lot of people like get nervous around me, man, and I don't know how to feel about it. Like, I'm not like, it doesn't make me happy. I make these people nervous, like, like, nah, like I'm not trying to make you nervous, but it's like I can't help it but to see the nervousness all over you. Like I see it all over your eyes, your demeanor, your face, your hands are trembling. I see everything, bro. Like, I can't not see anything, and that's the thing that you're gonna have to get used to and accept on semen retention. You see everything, bro, whether good or bad. You see it all. Like, I don't miss anything, bro. I can't miss it. And I actually like it. I think this is our superpower as humans, having top-notch reflexes. And why wouldn't you want to notice everything that's going on around you? That's how you survive. So, and I'm going to get deeper into the stories and, keep on making these videos for you guys. I'm going to make these videos without editing it. It's going to be raw. It's going to be real. And, the intention is to motivate and let y'all know ain't nothing going to change about me either. Hey, look, I still got a lot of things in the works that will be done this year. This year is going to be a fantastic year, bro. This year is going to be a fantastic year. Shout out to all the homies. Shout out to everybody that's still retaining. Shout out to my brother Aaron C, bro. I see, look, I'm still watching everything in the shadows, bro. You still supporting me, bro. Dropping like awesome comments and everything like that, bro. Bro, you my brother. I love you, man. And everybody out there, bro. I love all you guys, man. Look, let's look to retain our seed, bro. Let's look to retain our seed. It's time to retain. And look, you heard it here first, bro. Look, I did it for y'all, bro. There's a difference when you retain your seed and you don't edge versus when you retain your seed and you do edge. I'm gonna be honest, though. I mean, I still don't feel like, I haven't relapsed in 2 years, but I wasn't doing hard mode retention because I was still distracting myself looking at the hub and not busting. That's weird. Like, what? Why would I do such a weird activity like that? Like, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I was, I was flickering my private parts and still watching the hub. gonna be honest. But I wouldn't bust. So I would intentionally blue ball myself and watch the hub. Like that's sick, bro. That's sick. So I decided to cut it out. And that extra energy, that pre-cum energy, I'm not wasting it. And that, I feel like that energy does make a difference. So at the end of the day, I do want to hear y'all comments, but you know, whether or not edging is you know, doesn't count, right? But to me, I'm gonna be honest, man. I feel like edging might just be a relapse, bro. If you edge. So I've been retaining for 2 years. Again, I'm gonna keep reiterating. Haven't busted in 2 years, but these last 4 months, no edging. So y'all let me know. Have I been on semen retention for only 4 months, or 2 years and or has it just been 2 years? You know, has it been 2 years? 2 years or 4 months? Let me know in the comments, y'all. But look, I'm almost at my destination. It's time to get the day started. It's time to see the same patterns and recognize the same behaviors that people display when I come around, that women display when I come around. You know, they always giggle, they always flip their hair, they always they always gravitate towards me, and you know, they're comfortable around me, like, you know, women and children. You know, I'm just so used to it now. I'm just a beacon of light to them, and I just really have to make sure I live up to that by remaining disciplined, by having the proper mindset, which is being humble but being fearless, right? And attacking and being my higher self, right? You have to be it. Can't fake it. And there's gonna be the hate. There's gonna be, like, even the guys that come around and they gather in their circles, you know, and they laugh and giggle, and, you know, I mean, but that's what guys do. I mean, you know, we're men, you know, men playing around and stuff. But it's like, I recognize all these patterns. You know, pattern recognition is something that doesn't evade me either. I see everything, bro. So, and it's nothing to me. All it does is just confirm that, okay, we do live in a loop. And, you know, most people are stuck in their loops. They can't change it. But me, as a real retainer, I'm able to break out of loops and enhance the loops that I'm currently in. So I'm about to get down and work out real quick. So I'm gonna catch y'all later. It's Crown Notes in the building. And look out for more music dropping. You know what I'm saying? To those who don't know me, yes, I am a musician. I do it all, bro. I'm a Renaissance man. Shout out to my brother Tyler. Tyler, look, he's my MMA sensei. He told me that I'm a Renaissance man. I was like, what does that mean? I had to look it up. I'm like, oh, okay, so I have it all. I'm like a polymath. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to my retainers, y'all. Let's get it. Let's go!